sit at the cafes, just go down the cobblestone streets, take a trip out to islands, like let the destination just kind of take you away. And I think that sometimes is where you have your greatest adventures and stories to come home.
How do you recommend that someone gets the most out of the travel that they do?
Well, some people would probably say to do some planning before you go, but I kind of do the opposite. I kind of let sometimes the day take you where it's going to. I had a good friend ask me for some travel advice about Cartagena in Colombia. And at that time I said, sit at the cafes, just go down the cobblestone streets, photograph the ginormous doors, like take a trip out to the islands, like let the destination just kind of take you away. And I think that sometimes is where you have your greatest adventures and stories to come home.
I know, I found that to be true too, that when it's kind of, let's just roll with this, it's a very different mentality than being at home and usually something exciting happens.
Right. And I counter that as well. Like there are some things that you definitely need to see. So about 3 weeks ago, I was in China and it was not on the itinerary to see the Great Wall of China. And I was like, no, we have to go see the Great Wall. Like we're so close at this point. So that kind of like changed the itinerary and pivoted a little bit to make sure that that was something that we saw on the trip.
Well, I know that a lot of people feel travel is only for people who can afford it or have a lot of time. What advice would you give to someone who's maybe on a tight budget and isn't used to especially exotic international travel, that they might branch out and give it a try?
I think there are 3 things that keep a person from traveling, and it's either time, money, or desire. And what I'm trying to do now is choose some destinations where it's going to squash all 3 of those excuses, right? So I'm starting to profile a few destinations where flights are as low as $35 if you use the bridge that goes out of the Tijuana airport and it connects San Diego to Tijuana. Some of those little tricks can really help you like get on a flight, budget lodging. Airbnb is a great resource. Also, if you are wanting to just rent somebody's room or, I mean, you can get some great deals on those. Air miles. I've encouraged a lot of people who wanted to travel and had 0 money. Korea, you can go to Korea and they will pay for your airfare if you want to be teach English, and you can teach students, you can teach business executives, so you actually come home with a paycheck.
Are there any tips that you would share for how to make travel more convenient?
Travel light. So, for example, I just came straight from the airport here, and my wardrobe when I travel is pretty much black. So it's gonna not show dirt. I don't wear things that wrinkle, and just things that can be easily packed, and then just a lot of accessories so you can mix and match and people don't really recognize that you're wearing the same thing, you know. So travel light is one recommendation that I would say. Try and avoid red eyes if you can. I know you can save some money that way, but that can really set you back a whole day on the ground. And sometimes it's not worth it. I used to always try and save money by using air miles or just really trying to get the cheaper flight. And sometimes if you just pay the extra $100 or $200 or whatever, you have to look at it and say, is it worth my energy? Like I really need to arrive rested because vacation time is limited. So.
Yes, it's not worth the trade-off in some cases.
Right.
Now, when people say when in Rome, do you embrace the philosophy of trying to eat what the locals eat, or sort of what's your mentality around travel?
Yeah, I'll definitely try and personally avoid hanging out with other tourists and going to main tourist hotspots. If there's something like I mentioned, like the Great Wall of China and you're in China, definitely go see it. Or the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I think you're all the way there. You should see it. But I'll try and find the hole in the wall places. When my husband and I go to Southeast Asia, we'll eat, off of food carts and street food and go to the markets. And for example, last night, my husband and I left the hotel and walked down into town, and we could tell that really none of the people from the hotel were comfortable to do that. But we're like, no, we're here. Let's go discover the area. So we ended up going and we found this market and live music and tacos and tortillas made right in front of us. And we were just sampling them and taking pictures. And bonding with little dogs and kids, and none of that would have happened had we not stepped outside the four walls of our property.
If someone is thinking of travel and they're beginning the research process, where do you recommend that they begin?
Well, I think the benefit of technology now is that it's travel is so different than it was even 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everything is online now. So as far as if you kind of want to follow somebody's journey, obviously you're just going to do research of a journalist or somebody's exact tale that they of a destination. One thing that I do is I still believe in the guidebooks. I think they're a good resource, especially if you get their online versions. So if you do Lonely Planet is great for budget travel. Photos is a little bit higher end. Moon is phenomenal for as far as history and kind of giving a broader scope of the culture and the heritage of a destination. So guidebooks are great. If you want to look at lodging, TripAdvisor is great. I mean, it's bombarded with a lot of reviews, but at the end you're going to get pretty up-to-date feedback if you want to start looking at that. As far as other lodging, if you're going to do Airbnb, of course, always read the reviews there, do your homework. And one thing that I'll always do is as soon as I hit the ground, I'll ask a local. So connecting with the locals, you're not going to get a better resource.
Right.
So that's one thing that we try and do. Also, if you put something on social media saying that you're going to a certain destination and you kind of put some feelers out there, generally someone will have been there and they'll get back to you. And whenever someone tells me they're going to a destination, I love to give travel advice. Yeah. It's anything that I want to hoard or hold on to for myself. I really want to share. So I will always, if somebody just shoots me an email or a text, I'll give them back generally eat here, stay here, do this. This is how you do it. I think it's just something that you definitely want to share to kind of keep that happiness going.
Yeah, that's such a good tip. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.